the primary underlying issue with most disease, which really goes back in time in medicine to Hippocrates. He said there's two reasons why people become ill, primarily two reasons. The first is because the body, or all the cells in the body, have basically nutrient deficiencies, and therefore their activity declines because they don't have the nutrients they require for optimal metabolism or activity. The second thing Hippocrates talked about was the effects of environmental toxins. And the environmental toxins these days are quite different than the time of Hippocrates. So if we can just help people to nourish their bodies and the trillions of cells within the body, they will work better, more optimal, and also ridding toxins which are stored in different tissues in the body, primarily fat cells. Get those toxins out, and people's vitality just increases. Their health is improved, and no matter really what the condition is, whether it's a physical condition, whether it's a thyroid issue, whether it's fibromyalgia, whether it's chronic fatigue, or even mental issues, all of these conditions, no matter what the diagnosis, underlying causes are very, very similar with everyone. So it's a very simple program. It's the foundation of what's called naturopathy or natural healing, holistic health, is rather than treating symptoms, which pharmaceuticals are very good at, we're treating the whole body in a holistic way. The underlying principle is the body, that innate wisdom, the innate physician, will, in its full capacity, restore health, restore mental and physical health, if we remove the obstacles, if we remove the toxins, if we nourish and give to that inner wisdom the tools it needs to regenerate and rejuvenate a person's vitality. Just to add some clarity to the model that we're speaking about, is that we're all born with a, let's call it a constitution, and represented by a container or a bowl. And over time, as we're exposed to these toxins and relationships and early life formations of who we are and our self-esteem, so to speak, this bowl that we're born with is slowly and slowly fills up until it's full and starts to spill over, and the body cannot take any more toxins. And symptoms are produced, physical symptoms, mental symptoms. So the idea then with this model is that we want to stop filling the bowl with more toxins, and also to empty the bowl so it drains, and that's the purification part. So the purification part, our program is, let's understand how we're filling our bowl. A lot of things are invisible, they don't have any odors, etc. We must become more aware of what those are, stop filling the bowl, at the same time using the different ways of purification, eliminating these residues and chemicals from our system. As the body is detoxifying, people go through what is called a healing crisis. If people understand through our education that this is going to happen, and it's not a crisis you need to seek necessarily medical help for, but it's just the body's innate wisdom going through the purification, going through the release of toxins, and people feeling worse, a little worse before they become feeling better. Actually feel better at first, being on the juices and the saunas and the cleanse, but then they'll go through a sort of major detox, and they will feel a little worse. So if a person is doing this on their own without this kind of knowledge or information, like, oh my God, this program isn't working, I'm feeling worse than I did before. But it's got to be, it's something that people go through. It's this innate wisdom going through the cleanse. So part of our program is to help you understand this is what's going on, and to give you adjunctive therapies to help pass through this healing crisis much more rapidly, coming out the other side on a new plateau of health that you will not drop down, because you've also been educated about removing those environmental toxins, cleaning up your environment, and finding safe alternatives to things like cleaning solutions or cosmetics or whatever it may be that you're being exposed to with these toxins. I'm realizing that, some people think the way to sort of spirituality is through meditation. Well, people going through this cleanse, because of how we present the purification program and the connection with the innate wisdom within and the spirit is that when you're going through the purification, you will connect with spirit because you're going to go through a cleanse. You're going to go through some degree of surrendering to the process of cleansing and becoming well. And in one of the modules, I talk about my first water fast, which was a total purification.
Okay. I do not recommend that unless you want to go to hell and back.
No, we do not recommend that. We recommend the path of moderation. But it connected me with spirit pretty heavily. But it's a good story, and that I think that's a blessing of the purification. Is we're not just talking about a physical purification here. We're talking about a deep connection with this wisdom within and with spirit, which is an amazing benefit from going through the program. The program also involves how to get rid of these stored toxins. So as Erin mentioned, the easiest, quickest route of getting toxins, which again are primarily stored in the fat, in the subdermal fat layer just under the skin, let's get the toxins out of the skin. And then there's also a part which is how to improve the internal detoxification pathways to the liver and the gallbladder and the intestines. So there's one of the modules is let's work on the intestines first, make sure that sort of that dam is opened up to help release more toxins. Second is gallbladder, which is where the excretions from the liver go into gallbladder. Then we work on the liver. So all the sort of the dams are sort of opened up one at a time, and the body can then therefore release those toxins more effectively and reduce any kind of a healing crisis going on.
And it's so fun. I've seen people grow their hair back. I've seen miracles happen at a detox. It's so much fun because there is parts where it can be challenging if someone's going through some detox around it, but you get through those walls, and I've seen everything. When I first went through one, I mean, the entire world looked different. The colors looked more vibrant. Food tasted better. Everything changed. I've seen incredible transformations over a couple weeks with people. It's so exciting. I love this program.
And I think you mentioned also that when you went through the purification, you actually had like these layers being peeled off.
Oh yeah. It's crazy what comes out of skin. It's kind of gross, gotta say, actually, when you get in that sauna and all of it comes out. You're like, oh, there's that, hydrogenated fat coming out of my skin right now. It's fun though.
Yeah. I think I smell sea and ski suntan lotion.
Yeah, totally, completely. Mm-hmm. I mean, when they say every single drug that you've ever, had through, when you're sick with doctors, or if you experimented with drugs at all, or any pesticides or anything, it's all in your fat. So it all comes out, all of it.
Yeah. And even the recent research is showing that, I mentioned before the mitochondria, those little, what are called organelles inside of every single cell in our body, they produce energy. They make that cell turn on the metabolic rate. They're showing now that most likely the origin of many, many diseases is because of a dysfunction of those mitochondria. And they're finding that these environmental toxins, many pharmaceutical drugs, even something as benign as a lipid lowering drug, are actually those residues are getting inside of the mitochondria and causing their function to decline. So maybe it's possible, they're thinking that the root of illness is genetics, but even a deeper level than genetics is what sort of controls the DNA and RNA replication is the mitochondria. So it may be that the origin of most diseases is mitochondrial dysfunction. Therefore, the primary way of recovering our health is to get deep into the body, deep into the cells, into the mitochondria, to get those residues out through purification. I mean, this is the foundation of wellness and health.
So this is the most important, most exciting part of this entire program for me, is this part of the conversation. I am so excited to hear and witness and see all types of people going through detox. It is the most transformational thing out of anything. When I work with clients, it is by far the biggest, most impactful, fastest, transformation out of all the work.